Once again, we're going to look at some corrections I have made on an essay that a student has given me. I hope you can see that many of the ideas on this course, on this grammar course, you can see how we can apply them in our writing, and you can see how your writing can be improved when you use things like subjunctive, and well done to my student, he gets a gold star for using that. And using things like parallel structure, in particular parallel structure in fact, and we'll see that, and we always do when we look at writing. Okay, so completing a university degree is considered by some people to be the best way to get a good job. On the other hand, people think that getting experience and developing soft skills is more important. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So that's the question that he has to answer. Okay, learn, learn, learn. The old Soviet quote attributed to Lenin. Now that's a nice start, which I particularly like because you've got a nice A positive, which is correctly punctuated. Yeah, we've got noun phrase. I mean, I know they're free verbs, guys, I do, but that's a thing, that's a quote, learn, learn, learn. And then we've renamed that quote, the old Soviet quote attributed to Lenin. So really, that's an A positive. And if you want to know more about those, then please check out the class on A positives. So the old Soviet quote attributed to Lenin was used by the early communists to emphasize the necessity and popularize the idea of education for the masses. Now that's a lovely start, and it certainly contains nice parallel structure, yeah, to emphasize the necessity. And if you add the two, you don't have to add the two, you really don't, that's why I put it in brackets, so this is not a correction. But I think it's quite a nice idea too, when you've got quite long, and that's quite long, noun phrases connected by an and sorry, they're verb phrases, to emphasize and to popularize. And, you know, it's got nice balance there because you've got to emphasize the necessity of education for the masses and to popularize the idea of education for the masses. And we do say the necessity of, the idea of, and so it's all neatly balanced, and it's a very nice start to the essay. Okay, let's carry on. At the time of the pre-industrial era, yeah, we do use a definite article when we say exactly which era. So the pre-industrial era. The majority of the working class was barely educated and their professional training was very limited. You could put a comma in here to join the two main clauses because you've got a fanboy's word. Personally, I probably would, just because I teach that comma quite often. But you don't have to if it's quite short, and I don't consider that too long, and so that looks good to me. And then there's a nice semicolon there. Okay, most people. You can say most of the people, but you don't need to. And I actually recommend getting rid of words that are redundant. And so I think we'd normally say most people were agricultural workers and their skills were sharpened via, yeah, because this is passive, yeah, so we need the third form. Their skills were sharpened via, and then we've got here from father to son kind of learning with a typo. Well, I actually recommend sharpened via father to son with hyphens to show that this is a compound adjective, and that's what